What's up, everybody? My name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Friday, February 6th. Now, you may have noticed that DOG is up 5.3% in the past 24 hours. Now, Bitcoin is actually back over 70,000 US dollars at the time of this recording. So obviously, meme coins and altcoins will also follow suit. But in this video specifically, I want to talk about DOG dominance. DOG dominance over other meme coins, especially BNB meme coins, but also DOG dominance in terms of Satoshis. Now, I shared a specific screenshot yesterday that I do want to talk about today with an update of what we're seeing in terms of charting, because DOG dominance really is the leading indicator to show with you that DOG is not only holding very well during volatile markets, but is actually a better performer than any meme coin, than any BNB token, and even outperforming Satoshis, aka Bitcoin. So let's cover it in this video. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. Okay, so we already talked about DOG being around 5.29% up in the past 24 hours, roughly around 99 million market cap. Now, yesterday we saw as low as around 90 million market cap. Now, let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is actually around 69,000, even though it was like 70,000 before I got to this slide. But you can just see based on what Bitcoin's been doing, it's pretty much coming back from its low of around $60,000. So that was absolutely a crazy week that we just saw, this massive capitulation, only to see a nice relief rally. Now, I also want to pay attention to another thing, which is the CEO of Ki-Young Ju. Now, first of all, Ki-Young Ju is a big fan of Binance, so I'm not going to talk more about that. But what he shared with us is basically the BTC to USDT perpetual leverage trading is apparently cooling off. So he's basically saying that we're seeing these levels that we haven't seen since the pre-ETFs, meaning the Bitcoin ETFs. So before BlackRock started making Bitcoin ETFs very popular, that happened roughly around 2024. So this is right around this zone. And ever since then, you saw a lot of leverage trading kind of increase with Bitcoin to USDT tether. And that just kept going up majority of 2025 and up until 2026. But now we're at the current levels that we saw the pre-ETFs. So this could be a nice reset that we haven't seen in over a year before the ETFs started happening with these major institutions and hedge funds. Now let's look into the meme coin sector. Dogecoin up 7%. You have Pepe up 5%. I mean, some of these are up in the single digits. SPX 6900 is up 10%. And the reason that is because it's been down massively over the past month. It's like one of the worst performers of the month by far. You have Fartcoin up 6.3%. You can see that DOG Bitcoin right now is still around 6%. So it's pumping just like the rest of the market. But let's pay attention to the past hour. So the past hour, DOG is only down negative 1.39% compared to everything else. Over the past day, DOG doing not so bad. It's actually doing quite well. Look over the past week. Because we saw so many losses within the past week, DOG did not lose that much at all. But let's look at the past month. As you can see, SPX, Bread, Pengu, Bonk, all these things have something very similar, right? They're all pretty much VC-backed or have team members or insider allocations. But DOG Bitcoin, still the best performer out of the whole month. And even over the past week. This is something that I just want to share with you is that even though you look at daily charts or hourly charts, you got to look at the weekly and monthly. What's performing the best? And it's absolutely DOG Bitcoin right here. Okay, now let's get back into DOG. So yesterday, I noticed that DOG had flipped Cheems. Now, Cheems is a BNB meme coin. And I guarantee you, because it's a BNB meme coin, it had some insider allocations. And obviously, it was going to be listed on Binance. But even with Cheems being listed on Binance, it was flipped by DOG that only has Kraken. Does it have Binance? Does it have Coinbase, Crypto.com? HTX, KuCoin, Bybit, you name it. And I think that was actually crazy. It got really close to flipping this other coin that I cannot pronounce, but still, the fact is DOG is outperforming BNB meme coins, but not only that, it's outperforming a utility token on BNB chain. So if you did not know, this is what we do is that we compare DOG USDT to Aster USDT. And as you are aware, CZ from Binance was a huge advocate and publicly shared that he bought into Aster. Now, there's only like a few other tokens that he publicly announced that he bought. he bought BNB, he bought Bitcoin, and now he bought Aster. So these are the 3 announcements that he's made throughout his time being in crypto, based on what I know. But Aster, even though he said that he bought it, a ton of people bought into it because he bought it. He even told people that, yes, this may not go up forever, it may go down, but what I want to share with you in this chart is, look at DOG. Look at how DOG's been performing ever since Aster was launched and available to trade, especially on Binance. DOG Bitcoin dominance is forming higher lows, meaning that the price of DOG is outperforming Aster, meaning Aster has actually been dropping in value, while DOG dominance is either holding steady or increasing in value. So this is also based on Satoshis, right? Not just USDT. If you put your hard-earned dollars into DOG Bitcoin and not put it into Aster, you'd either not lose money or you would make more money, just based on when you decided to switch from Aster over to DOG. But this is absolutely amazing. And why it's very important to know about DOG is that it has no team members, it has no key opinion leaders, aka influencers, there's no VCs, there's no insider allocations, and DOG does not pay market makers or listing fees to be listed on exchanges. So that's why I want to share with you is that look at how this chart really surprises me. And I just saw this yesterday, that DOG outperformed Aster. This is phenomenal. And it's been outperforming Aster since September all the way up until today, February. And it's because we have community members that are literally DOG cost averaging every single day. And this was just posted yesterday. A whole bunch of people within the DOG army started buying. We have Dog Damasa, we also have Mogwai, we have Moonlight 1987, we also have Marauder. Next up, we also have Marty Farty, Mr. Bunda, J-Dog, Six Love, Fedwick, Sabio, Chad Genuine. And again today, we have Genuine again, Francisco, Rafael, Sabio, Cholo, Truck. And this is why DOG is outperforming BNB meme coins and BNB utility tokens. And lastly, before we get into the whole charting part, if you've noticed, the long-term holders haven't changed. So we're still at 77%. These are wallets that have held DOG for over 155 days. So this just goes to show that even during this dip, we have not lost or gained much, right? We're just still holding on or accumulating. Okay, now I want to point out something that Jupe did share, and I thought this was a really great point. Now, right now, Jupe is pointing out USDT dominance. Now, that's USDT Tether. Now, what have you noticed? Well, whenever we see massive capitulations within the market, most people like to switch over to stablecoins because they're scared that maybe their Solana bags, BNB, Cardano, Ethereum bags are going to go down. So they think, okay, let me just go ahead and switch those funds into a stable coin in case I need to buy the dip later. But what happened was we saw a massive top signal with the USDT. And as you can see, we haven't seen this since we saw a 2022 bear market low, which is when basically the 2021 bear market started and the low happened roughly around 2022. So I think this was absolutely a great point to share that Jupe did post live. And the last thing I want to talk about in terms of DOG dominance regarding charting. So this is what we need to pay attention to. Now, there are two different parts of this image. There's the Bitcoin image, which is Satoshis, and there's the bottom image, which is Tether, or based in US dollars. Now, what people may focus on is DOG price based on the dollar value, which is USDT. But what you really need to look at is DOG against Bitcoin. So how's DOG dominance against the Bitcoin price? And this is important because it's based on Satoshis. As you can see, we formed a higher low. Now, this chart below is an illusion because it makes you think that DOG is not doing that well compared to the crypto market, but it's not true. In fact, if you look at the top image, that just validates why DOG is actually doing much better than the crypto market because based on Satoshis, it's actually performing better than Bitcoin. And that's why when I showed you those bubbles of all those meme coins within the past hour, day, week, and month, that DOG was the best performer, it's because of things like this. And that's what makes DOG so unique because it's built on Bitcoin L1. All these other meme coins are on these other testnet chains, but also they have way too many centralized exchange listings that they have market makers that not only just pump, but dump their bags heavily. DOG doesn't have to worry about that. DOG just has community. And that's what's the most important thing is that DOG actually has more upside and more catalyst this year. Okay, so let's look into DOG's price right now. So as I mentioned before, we needed to touch this red line in the RSI. We did that. Now it's bouncing back up. It does not mean that we won't stay down here for a while. I mean, check this out. We bounced over here roughly around June of 2025 and we consolidated around this area for almost 6 months, almost close to like 8 months if anything. So it doesn't mean like things are completely solved that we're going to go right back up. It just means that we've actually hit a bottom, meaning we've been oversold. So right now the MACD is showing us that the orange and blue line are hovering down below, looking like it's getting into the seller's market. But listen, this was very short-lived. This bull market, aka buyer's market, was very short-lived. We've only seen it a couple times where we got over here. Like you can see that when we crossed over, we went to roughly 100 million market cap to roughly 560. And we saw one over here as well, where we reached a new all-time high at 99 million and one over here at 980 million. So really, we don't have that many opportunities for buyer's market. So I feel like this should not be happening where this is just a short-lived moment. And I think it's because of the narrative around Bitcoin meme coins. I've never seen their Bitcoin meme coin season yet. When I look at dog dominance right now, yes, we did see like a little bit of a red candle, but we're still forming a higher low. And the reason that's important is because we're starting a new trend to the upside. That's dog outperforming Bitcoin and Satoshis. And eventually this USDT that's been stacking up here, eventually, just like we saw back in 2022, is going to have to bleed out going back into altcoins at some certain point or another. And I just think that right now we met this top and we're completely at the cap of USDT. It has to rotate into altcoins. And I think that dog is going to be that leading indicator for the entire meme coin market, not just Bitcoin meme coins. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm very bullish on dog Bitcoin, but most importantly, what did you just see in this video? You just saw the most important thing, which was dog dominance. Dog dominance is beating BNB meme coins, BNB utility tokens, even beating out Bitcoin itself as Satoshi price levels. That is phenomenal. But everything in here that I've shared with you is that the community is the most integral part of dog. Dog isn't just a meme coin. It is literally a token that sets out to exploit corruption within exchanges, within other communities. And what's amazing about dog and the dog members is that they continue to show up every single day, especially during the red candle days. That's literally the secret ingredient to any great meme coin community out there. I'm very blessed to be talking about dog Bitcoin, but listen, we still have the weekend ahead. So let's see what happens over the weekend. If there's ever an emergency video that I need to make, I'll definitely make that video either Saturday or Sunday, but if not, then I will see you guys on Monday. But please do have a great weekend. This is absolutely amazing. Don't forget to dog cost average every single day when you see these dips. There are massive opportunities. So with that said, go ahead and smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding Dog of the Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.